What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you're new, we always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday, I didn't make a play on those games. Some people from the chat could tell my confidence level wasn't too high on those two games that we had yesterday. But yeah, clean slate yesterday for myself. Vino, I have a feeling it's the same for you. But good to see you today as well. How you doing?
I'm good today, Skee. It was the same for me, and if I had just played where the directions that I leaned, I probably would have lost the Seattle Connecticut under by a long shot because Seattle scored over 100 by themselves, and probably would have won the Dallas team total over. They only scored 7 points in the fourth and still got over their team total yesterday. So just as well to sit back and not pay any vig on a split, and we'll get to it today because I think there's a couple here today that we can cash in on.
Well, we have three games to try to get some action on for sure. Let's get straight to it. First game up, we'll talk about Valkyries and Dream. Opened up Dream -8. Still eights out there, a couple 7.5s. The total has come down a little bit from 157.5. I'm seeing it as low as 155, depending where you shop. I mean, it's all over the place. I still see a 156.5 too. Injury report. In this, I will actually refresh. So Monique Billings is game time decision. Maria C is out. Ryan Howard is out. Um, for the Dream, I think this is a little bit of a. I mean, yeah, sheesh, Vino. So the Dream, every game since All Star break, they've been on the road. The three games before All Star break, they were on the road still. So it's been a pretty long road trip. It did have a break in between, but this is the first game back home after that. And they do play tomorrow versus Dallas. Front end of a back to back for them. For the Valkyries, um, I mean, both teams have a little bit of rest before this game, and they've been back and forth, home road, home road. So I don't like the spot for the Dream. I didn't like how the Valkyries looked without Kayla Thornton out there in that last game, getting blown out by 30 to Connecticut. Doesn't really make you want to back them. But I'll say like this, the way I'm thinking is the Dream have outperformed what the market thinks of them twice, right? They've won their last two games outright as underdogs. Now, I feel like the value is gone. Like you got to pay a premium for that for the Dream. And Valkyries, like to start the season, or they were really big dogs all the time. Then they were covering so many in a row. At one point, they started to make them favorites. Now, after looking so bad, they're back to that big dog role, and that's where they've had success. Now, I know they don't have Kayla Thornton, but I feel like second game out, they would have figured out how they would like to play. So, and I think they're really well coached. I think the coach will have a good game plan for them as well, coming off a really bad loss like that. So I'm looking at the Valkyries plus the 8 points. I'm curious. The market has come down on the total. Are you looking at that, or are you looking at a side in this game?
I looked at a side in this game. Ski actually did this one single game video for Wager Talk this morning, and I kind of shortened it up and took Golden State first half +4. First off, one of the main reasons, and you hit on it right away, it's been a long, long time since Atlanta's been at home. I know in the NBA we often use first home game off a long road trip. The 3-game road trip after the All-Star break was one thing. It's been 18 days since they've been here, if you count the 3 before the All-Star break where they were on the road. I think the 3 that Atlanta just played on the road were pretty taxing games. I mean, they were all against playoff teams, against Las Vegas, against Phoenix, and then against Minnesota. And they got beat in the first one, but the next 2 beat Phoenix, beat Minnesota. Now you go home as an 8-point favorite on your home floor. I just find it hard to believe that Atlanta could show up with the same focus. It's kind of an early letdown to me for them. Coming home as a big favorite after playing those last 2 games. And Minnesota pushed them at the end of that game. All of a sudden, and if Collier doesn't step out of bounds off of that rebound, perhaps Minnesota sends that game to overtime. Very possible. So, to me, I think winning 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. She was just barely on the end line. Win 2 out of 3 on the road. A lot of energy, a lot of focus. Not sure that they'll start the game that way. Golden State would be the exact opposite. You get blown out of Connecticut. You have to believe that they'll open the game focused, ready to roll. They've been great first half road underdogs. 7-2-2 against the spread are Golden State. And if they're on the road as an underdog with a day of rest or more, they're 6-1-1 against the spread. So good numbers posted by Golden State. We know they've been a good first half team all season long. They played here earlier this month, July 7th. Same price. Valkyries were +4 first half. They led at halftime 45-43. I think the two stars, small forwards, were involved in that game. Ryan Howard did play for Atlanta. Kayla Thornton did play for Golden State. So not having either one of them probably neutralizes each other. So you're basically getting the same exact price for the same two teams on the same floor, except that Golden State seems to have this huge scheduling advantage to me. So I thought +4 probably, in my estimation, probably takes Atlanta a little bit of time to get going. Golden State should get going right away because they got off to a really slow start against Connecticut. So I bet it. I like it. Golden State first half +4.
I like it. I mean, I'm looking at them for the full game, but I don't have a reason to talk you off the first half. Your reasoning makes sense to me. All right, Kylie in the chat want to talk about every game but this one, huh? When we get there, we'll talk about it, Kylie. I see you in the chat. Next game up, we'll go Sky and Mystics. And here, I believe we had an opener of 7. We see 7.5. Total open 157.5. Not much movement. I'm seeing mostly 157. As far as the injury report for Chicago, Angel Reese has been ruled in, so we shall see her back on the court tonight. Ariel Atkins is out. Uzun is out. Haley Van Lith looks like she's questionable, and Onion Wary is also questionable. For the Mystics, Aaliyah Edwards is the only person who's going to be out here. The Sky have really struggled lately. I mean, we all know they're not the best team in general, but especially when Angel Reese is not on the court, they look pretty bad. They failed to hit 80 points in, I believe, 5 straight games, dating back before the break. This is tough. I do expect, like, I don't look at the Mystics as a favorite. Like, they haven't been good in this role dating back to last year. Especially like big favorites like 7.5. And the Sky, I just think after a couple really bad games, it's a buy low on them, and you're getting their best player back. So I want to lean towards the Sky here. I'm curious how you see it, Rob Veno.
Well, Sunday it was a little easier for me when Angel Reese didn't play because Chicago just doesn't handle the ball real well. They have the worst turnover rate in the WNBA, and Indiana, I think Chicago committed 22 turnovers against Indiana Sunday. Now with Angel back, I mean, it gets a little bit better, but they still don't have the best of guards on that team. The Washington side, I'm with you. It's kind of hard to trust them because they always seem to have one quarter, or sometimes it's a half, where they just don't score. The other day they led Phoenix 46-42 halftime, and then they score like 26 points in the second half. They just can't make a shot. That seems to happen to them way too often. Brittany Sykes, I think I'd have to look this up again. I don't think Brittany Sykes scored in that game. I think she had 0 points in 20-plus minutes. I'll double-check that after this. But it wasn't a great game second half offensively for Washington. Therefore, they're just so hard to depend on to create some kind of margin. Chicago can be, a little bit feisty at times, especially if their front court has a little bit of an advantage. Maybe they do here against Washington. That front court is in and out. Of course, it features 2 rookies, so you'd expect it to be in and out. My first look here was going to be toward, after everything I just said, my first look was going to be toward the over, simply because Chicago hasn't stopped anybody in a month, maybe longer. And because with Angel Reese back, they can probably score more than they've been scoring. When they don't have her and Ariel Atkins combined, they've been a disaster on offense. It's not even close to being a good offensive team. So Maybe I could look that way, Skee. I'm just looking now. It doesn't seem like there's any variance in the line here with Angel playing now. I mean, Washington 7.5, 7.5 across the board. Still, I'd expect that to go down. Got to be some Chicago money coming. And maybe this 56.5, 157, 156.5, 157 goes up a little bit. I don't know. I haven't played the game yet, but I still might lean a little bit toward over simply because Chicago's defense has been so bad. And Washington, if they have one bad quarter, they probably still could get this thing over 156.5.
Yeah, Sky have been the worst defensive rated team over the last 5 games. And you definitely need some playmaking. Angel Reese has been a lot better this year in that playmaking role. So getting her back definitely will help out in that regard. So I can understand looking for more points in this game. Um, yeah, either over or Sky, I think are good ways to look in this one. All right. Last game on the slate here, Rob Veno. We have the Aces and the Sparks. This one opened up -2 for Las Vegas, still at -2. Total open, I have an opener of 172.5 over here, and I see it as high as 175.5. Injury report, I don't see anybody on there for the Sparks. And then for the Aces, it's the same usual suspect, Cheyenne Parker Tyus. So Vino, we've seen these teams play a couple times so far this season. Sparks took one, and the Aces took one. Both high scoring games, both surpassing this total that we're looking at here today. Sparks, this is the best basketball they've been playing the entire season. They won 5 in a row. They've scored 90 plus in each one of them. They haven't necessarily played the best competition, but are the Aces great competition, Rob Vino? I mean, they've been wildly inconsistent this season too, right? So it makes sense why we have a closer point spread than we usually see when these two teams meet. Um, we know, I mean, if you've been around WNBA for a little bit, you know the beef, or you understand why Hamby plays with a chip on her shoulder when she sees Las Vegas. And I mean, Kelsey Plum is over there now too. A little bit of the same, maybe not as big of a chip as Hamby, but still, just showing them what they're missing out on. So all those things, it's very hard for me to look any way but the Sparks here. It's interesting to me to see the Aces favorite, honestly. But I agree with the market move on the total up, Rob Vino. How are you looking at this game?
Yeah, I looked at it from the Sparks side, Skee. Las Vegas, I think it's the fourth straight road game for them as well. So there's a little bit of a fatigue situation possibly with Las Vegas. But I just, in my mind, there's no need to, let's just say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You mentioned LA scoring the last 5 games, and 6 of the last 7 has been incredible. Here, their team total is 86.5. We talked the other day about how up and down Las Vegas is. They're up and down mainly because of their defense. Jewel Lloyd found her way to the bench last game, right? I think
Finally.
Bell started. Yeah. And guess what? She scored 20 points. Is that what it took for her to show up, is put her on the bench? I'm not sure. But their defense, Skee, has been back and forth all season long. And I just, against an offense like this, and you talked about they played 2 high-scoring games already. LA, I think they've scored 81 and 97 in the 2 matchups against them. I didn't put a lot of thought into this one beyond the fact that LA's offense is worth backing right now. Las Vegas is on a bit of a 4-game road trip. I don't trust Las Vegas's defense on a game-by-game basis. So over 86.5 to me looked a little bit low in a game where you expect it to be high scoring. You expect it to be in the right where the total is and even higher, really. So for me, like I said, it was simple. Los Angeles Sparks over their team total 86.5.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Good stuff on this game. I mean, that's all we got for today. Just a quick 3-piece. We're on here, did 3 games in under 15 minutes. We got right to it. I think we did a pretty solid job. So now, before we move it over to best bets, do a little bit of the promo. It is $5 Tuesday. So you can go check my page. You can go check Rob's page. And look at Rob Vino there in the picture. He made this one. And we'll both have a top play for $5. You Capper, he's been doing well in the WNBA. You can go check him out. You can check anybody you like out at Wager Talk. They should have a $5 top play available for today. And if you win, maybe you want to come back and rock with Rob and myself for the rest of the WNBA season. This does expire tonight. So maybe check out our $5 plays, see what the write ups are like. And if you like them, if you want to continue to rock with us for the rest of the season, you get us both for under $3 per day. And it goes through about mid October, I believe. All right. Now, got that promo out the way. We'll move it to best bets. If there's anything else you would like to promo, Rob, feel free. If you have a best bet for the show, we would love to hear it. If you don't, it's all good.
Yeah, you covered the promo real good there, Skee. We got two that the chat could take advantage of where both of us are concerned here. So go ahead and hop over to wagertalk.com. And like I say, if you've wanted to buy a selection package and you never have, $5 Tuesday is probably the time to do it. That's why they offer top plays for $5 on Tuesdays. Best bet for today, I'll go back to where we started. I think Golden State's proven they're a very good first half team. I think the situation is good on one side, bad on the other. I think it's a big enough advantage to think Golden State can at least come out the first 20 minutes and play well. Atlanta, for the most part this year, Skee, has been a second half higher scoring team than first half as well. So give me the Valkyries +4 first half in a tough travel situation, or at least scheduling spot for Atlanta, and a good bounce back spot for Golden State.
I like it. I'm in agreement. And you know what? I'll just double it up and we'll rock on the same game. So we'll see. Maybe we'll both be geniuses or we'll both be idiots tomorrow. But I'll go Valkyries. Best number I see is +8. And I'll lock that in after the show. I'll share this trend. I mean, I talked about a lot about the game already, but this trend is kind of what I was explaining. I feel like it goes back to 2022. So I'll say non-rusty road underdogs. And when I say that, I mean less than 4 days rest. We always talk about rest versus rust. They are 9-1 ATS when facing teams coming off back-to-back wins as underdogs. And just like I was explaining earlier, this trend is pretty much saying like it's a market overreaction. When team exceed expectations and two straight upset wins, odds makers tend to overreact. And that puts the value tonight on the Valkyries +8. So that will be my best bet for the show. Veno, it's always great doing these shows with you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk these games out. Helps my process, helps everybody else out, I'm sure, as well. Chat, you guys are awesome. You help make the show what it is. We love you guys. Everybody else out there, Twitch, X, YouTube Shorts, Kick, Spotify, Apple, we appreciate you tuning in as well. We'll be back again tomorrow. We have another 3-piece, and we'll see if we can find some winners. So best of luck on all your action today, and we will catch you guys then.